So you're looking for a payroll provider, you've heard about Gusto, and you've got some questions. In this video, I'll be covering whether Gusto is a good option for running payroll, how they stack up against the competitors in the space, and what you must know about Gusto before you decide to start using them. So let's dive right on into it. First off, what actually is Gusto? Well, it is a modern HR and payroll platform that focuses on small businesses. They work with over 100,000 different small businesses to help them run payroll, make sure them and their employees get paid on time, and that all of the record keeping, withholding, and taxes are taken care of on their behalf. This is personally what I use myself for two of my different businesses to pay myself a salary. They're both set up as S corporations. Saves me a lot in taxes. If you want to find out more about that and how that all works, check out this video up here where I dive deep into S Corps. But in essence, Gusto is just a way for you to pay yourself a salary and your employees as well, and also integrates with different benefits like workers' compensation, healthcare, retirement plans, disability. All of that stuff is kind of all integrated into Gusto. It checks all those boxes for you. So now that you get what Gusto is it actually a good option for you to use as a small business? I'm going to be speaking from a small business perspective. Both of the companies that I have set up with Gusto, I am the sole salaried employee, but Gusto is built for businesses from anywhere from about 0 to 100 employees. Now on the pro side of things, it's a very user-friendly platform. It's very simple. It's built so that everyone, even people like me, can understand it and use it very easily. It's also very easy to get onboarded. So again, like I said, I've got two different businesses on Gusto. Both of them took me maybe 10 minutes to get set up. So it's a very easy, streamlined, simple process to make it super easy for you. I mean, like on the back end, there's like a ton of like official forms that are getting filled out, but on the front end, all you see is like this nice interface and you just kind of type stuff in and check some boxes here and there. On top of that, it also only takes about a couple minutes to actually run payroll. So once you get everything set up that first time, it really only takes like 2-3 minutes every single month to just go in there, click on the button, and that kind of just let it do its thing. It also takes care of all of the taxes, the withholdings, and the reporting to the federal government on how much each person is getting paid and making sure that all of those taxes have been sent off to the appropriate places. Like I said before, it's optimized for small businesses. So if you are a large scale company, you're probably going to want to go with a different payroll provider. You're also probably not watching this video. But if you are a small business, like I said before, anywhere from 0 to 100 employees, then Gusto is going to be kind of built for you. It's also the cheapest option on the market. We're going to be getting into that in just a little bit, but on the price side of things, they definitely beat out their competitors. And to top it all off, they give you a free $100 when you sign up using the link in the description below. That helps me out, that helps you out, and it helps the world go round. So if you do want to sign up for Gusto at any point, feel free to use that link and score yourself some free cash in the process. But it's not all sunshine and roses for Gusto. Okay, we got some cons over here that we're going to be talking about right now. The first of which is that there have been some complaints about their customer service. If you go read some reviews about Gusto, the number one complaint that you're going to see, really the only complaint that you're going to find, is that their customer service isn't always quite up to par. It can sometimes take a little while to get a response from them. So I haven't run into that yet. I haven't had to contact their customer service for any reason, but I have heard that that might be an issue for some people. Additionally, it is not free to use Gusto. So their base plan with one employee is $45 per month, which might sound high, might sound low, but it is going to be the lowest option out there in terms of the competitors, like I'm going to talk about in just a little bit. But one thing to keep in mind is that they don't actually start charging you until you start running payroll. So I added, like I said, my second business I added to Gusto, but I haven't actually started running payroll for that business. I'm going to wait until later in the year to start running payroll for that business. So I've got two businesses in there, but I'm only being charged for one right now because I haven't actually run my first payroll. So you can add as many businesses as you want. You can get yourself all set up, just like everything's ready to go. You just got to press the button and they won't start charging you until you actually run that first payroll. So keep that in mind. You can get yourself set up whenever you want. But once you start paying yourself, then you're going to start paying them $45 per month. So now that you got the pros and the cons, how do they actually stack up against their competitors? Well, there are three main competitors that I'm going to talk about right now, kind of the other big companies in the payroll space that you've probably heard of. The first of which is QuickBooks. So this is the other kind of option built for small businesses. QuickBooks Payroll is different from QuickBooks accounting software. These two things integrate with each other, but there is no discount between the two. There's none of that. They're very separate subscriptions that you do have to pay for. Now, QuickBooks does start off slightly more expensive at $50 per month for their lowest tier, but you're not even getting all of the same features that you get with Gusto on that lowest tier of QuickBooks. It's kind of more comparable to compare the second tier of QuickBooks with the first tier of Gusto. Second tier of QuickBooks is about $83 per month, so a bit of a price discrepancy there between the $45 for Gusto. Also, the second tier on Gusto is only about $50 a month, so even if you upgrade to the second tier of Gusto, you're still saving quite a bit of money when compared to QuickBooks. Now, the one place where QuickBooks can come out ahead is if you have dozens of employees, because the per employee cost with QuickBooks is lower than the per employee cost of Gusto. So QuickBooks basically has a higher upfront fee, and then per employee it's smaller. So if you've got 50, 60, 100 employees, then QuickBooks might actually come out a little bit cheaper for you, but otherwise, Gusto is probably going to be the more cost-effective move. Also, like I mentioned before, compared to Gusto, the feature set is fairly limited, and you do have to pay extra for a number of things that are included within Gusto. Now, another big name in the payroll space is ADP. Now, these guys are built specifically for larger companies. They don't even have a public pricing model. It is all by quotes. You basically call them up, you tell them about your business, and then they tell you, okay, we could build you out a custom solution for X number of dollars per month and an X number setup fee. So it's going to be a lot more expensive for you. There's a whole setup fee. There's a whole custom quote. Basically, everything is extra. So if you're just a solopreneur or you're a mom and pop shop or you have less than 100 employees, it's probably not even worth considering something like an ADP. The fourth competitor in the space is Paychex. They're very similar to ADP in a lot of ways. Again, built for larger companies, typically like 100 employees or more is when you might start to consider like an ADP or a Paychex. But again, if you're on the smaller side, it's really going to be the question of QuickBooks or Gusto. For me, like I said, Gusto's the move because I don't like paying more than I need to for subscriptions. It does everything that I need to do. Like I'm not looking to do anything crazy with this. I'm not giving myself health insurance. I'm not giving myself benefits or anything like that. But even if I was, I mean, Gusto has all that stuff built in. I just don't really mess with it. But what it all really boils down to and what you really need to know about Gusto is if you are running a business and you're making over $60,000 per year in profit, you really need to consider an S Corp, okay? And again, I have this video up here that's going to show you why you need to make that consideration, okay? Like I'm saving tens of thousands of dollars per year in taxes with my S Corp when compared to just having myself set up as an LLC. Now, once you have that S Corp set up, you have to be running payroll in order to pay yourself. You need a payroll provider. And before I made this decision for myself, I spent literally dozens of hours researching all of the options out there. I kind of boiled it all down to like 10 minutes for this video. But through my due diligence, I determined that Gusto was probably the best move out there. If you guys have any other thoughts or you disagree with me, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions. But for me, Gusto has been really solid so far. Plan to continue to use them into the future. And the fact that they're cheap and they get the job done was more than enough for me. Plus, I did get $100 when I signed up using somebody else's link. So if you want to spread the love, do consider using that link down below. Get $100 when you sign up for Gusto. Now that you know everything you need to know about Gusto, the next thing you should do is check out this video over here where I give a full tutorial on how to get Gusto all set up for your business. Like I mentioned, only takes about 10 minutes, but it can be a little bit confusing if you've never done it before. So make sure to check that video out over there, and I'll see you over there.